Hey everyone, welcome back to Data Over Coffee, where Ramon and I discuss trending topics, tools, techniques, everything related to data or analytics or any other roles as well, like business analysis, test analysis, and BI. So today it's very interesting topic. We are not technically talking about any tools or techniques, but in today's topic, we are discussing something that will enable you to use all those tools, all those techniques that we have discussed and we usually discuss. And today's topic is the setup for data analysis. Now, what the setup means is basically what hardware do you need, what software do you need, should you go for a dual monitor setup? Would one monitor be enough for you? What RAM do you need? What CPU do you need? Right. So these are the things that are often like they're missed. And so if, for example, I'm going to buy a new laptop, I at that moment might not be thinking about all these things required for my data analysis role, right? So this is very crucial. This is very important when you're investing your money in a new technology or in a new setup, when you're looking for new computer and you're a data analyst. So you need to be very careful of what configurations you're looking for. And this is what we'll be discussing in today's topic. So I'm really excited about it, and hope you are too. And Ramon will be sharing his insights on what we should look for when we are setting up as a data analyst, and what softwares are we looking at, what hardwares are we looking at, and things around that. So before further ado, let's welcome Ramon. Ramon, how are you? How was your week?
Hey Arjun, well man, that was a really good introduction. You put the topics quite right, so we'll be covering
Thanks,
that.
man.
And also, it's time for celebrate, man, and recognize.
Okay.
Because I was listening the other day a podcast. We do podcasts, we consume podcasts, we create podcasts, and even I heard now there are the podcast Grammar. Yeah. So become a thing, and also everyone is in the bucket list to create a podcast.
Yeah.
And I just heard that 60% of the podcast that everyone start doesn't get to farther than episode 10, and so we are in the episode 12. So it's a well recognition for you and myself, because man, we did it. We crossed the barrier. It's like when you hear like every small, like 30% of the small business close on the 6 month, 60% close on the, and then so every barrier that you cross is something like remarkable. So I just want to recognize the hard work that you put in on this, Arjun, and also the time that we spent together on Saturdays.
Yeah, likewise. Credit goes to you as well. We've been doing this together, and we have achieved a good milestone of 10 episodes, which is really good, which is really interesting, exciting. I'm really looking forward to more and more episodes coming up. And yeah, it's just that, you know, we both are working on so many things at the same time, and it is often easy to maybe skip one or two things, and the podcast can be one of those. But it's really good to see that we dedicatedly come together every 15 days and record these, which is really great, man. Hopefully we will be nominated for the Grammys, fingers crossed. Or maybe it's too soon for us. Let's see. But no, it's really good, man. It's congratulations.
Congratulations to you as well. And the other thing that I want to share with you, I remember I told you the other day that someone told me that during his cardio he was listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
I heard someone else approached me and read it on my LinkedIn, and the person is in Georgia, close to Russia, and in Europe, in Asia, sorry. And then you realize how the reach that you have.
Yeah.
And also the other thing is like someone else texted me by WhatsApp 2 days back, someone that I met in Migrant Tech actually.
Yeah.
And he said like, man, I've been listening to your podcast. And it's really good. I listened 2 episodes in a row.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned to you, it's hard for me to listen myself for 2 hours.
No,
like
exactly.
getting someone else, but then I said like, no, it's really insightful. I found it really good. And I have a colleague that the other day said, man, I listened the first episode
Yeah.
I said like, thank you. I really appreciate that. I said, no, because I just listen because I want to. No one is obligating me. And then you realize that the amount of help that we provide.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
let's keep doing this for people. Let's keep building this to help more people to do more with their data.
Yeah, 100%.
And yeah. So this is the two things that I wanted to share with you.
Yeah, it's easy. I think it's easy to underestimate your own potential. It's very easy for people and humans to do that. And I just want to say this to everybody: if you're working on something, just keep going at it, and you don't really know how many people you are helping and how many lives you're touching. So even if it feels like this is something that is not at a level that you are thinking, it still is. It might just be for that one person who is listening to your podcast or whatever you're doing. If you are touching even a single life, it matters, right? So just keep doing that, and we will continue doing this, and hopefully you'll see a lot more of us in the future. Okay, now back to the topic.
As long as you want to keep listening. So thank you for that.
Yes.
And also remember to request us for topics. At the end of each video, we put our LinkedIn links, myself and Arjun. Feel free to send us a topic that you need. I just discussed with someone else, and I have a couple of ideas for topics. So that is really important. If you want to get a clarification here in this hour, this is for you. So just request for the topic.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really good to know what people actually want to listen, so we can create that content instead of what we want to share. So it will be good if you guys can let us know what the next topics could be and should be, and we'll make sure that we cover those. Perfect. All right. Let's move to today's topic then.
All right. Cool.
Setup for data analysts.
Okay. All right. This is I'm an electronic engineer for profession. And I've always been into the RAM memory, the CPU, the GPU that became really popular when all the trending of the blockchain started. And there's so many things that we want to have in our dream computer. And sometimes we either go too high for something that we will never use.
Yeah.
And sometimes we go too low because we don't want to spend the amount of money that we need or that we want to.
Yeah.
But that made me reflect, because I was about to get a new computer the other day, and I wanted to go to the highest end, but then realized like 5,000 for a laptop, or 4,000 New Zealand dollars for a laptop, which is around 2,500 US dollars.
Yeah.
Then you start to realize, do I really need this? Do I need a laptop or a desktop?
Yeah.
What I want to achieve. So the thing that I created, as usual, I create a matrix on my mind and didn't put in paper. But then I started to think that the things that I wanted to achieve with the computer, the thing that I need for the kind of work that I'm doing, and then I came up with something that I need. But before of that, I would like to go back to my career and tell you, if you are just studying now, for example, you have your full-time job, you work in a warehouse, you work in a supermarket, you work in a retail, anywhere, and you would like to start to learn data, but you doesn't have a computer. So then you start to realize which kind of computer you need. And you have already a Mac or you have already a Windows PC. Is that will be enough or not? This is the answer that will be the question that we'll be answering today. And the first thing that I want to tell you, that it will depend. It will depend. If you just want to use it to modify Excel files, a Windows computer with a Intel Core i5
would do.
8 GB of RAM should do. However, if you want to do something more advanced in Excel, 16 GB will be good. And then on top, you start to add, I want to also do Power BIs. So you need to install the Power BI tool, which is free. And then you go to 16 to 32 GB of RAM, because as you know that many applications nowadays rely a lot on the RAM. For example, Google Chrome. it depletes all the RAM that you have. I mean, there's some memes in the internet that's floating around that it says like, the more that you give it to Chrome, more that will take.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Be careful.
It takes a lot.
Because all the processing or calculation in many websites nowadays doesn't happen on their servers, are happening in your server in the front end. So for example, if you see a calculation, something that goes into the website, actually your computer is taking all the processing. So then you start to realize how much computer do you need. But if you want to start with programming and learning programming, I think a Windows computer or an old MacBook should do it with 8 GB of RAM. However, if you face that you need more power, something around 16 GB of RAM, I would recommend you, in most of the country, they sell something called ex-lease computers, which ex-lease? Yes, ex-lease.
Okay.
Which are computers that used to belong to corporations.
Oh, okay, yeah, ex-lease, yes.
Yeah. They replace they swap the hard drive because of course this is the data, and also you can get it for a good price. Yeah. And then you can get computers like a ThinkPad or a Dell Latitude or HP EliteBook or a ZenBook or something like really, really good in performance. So it's a great opportunity. But of course you don't get the latest performance and the latest processor, but you will have a good setup for you to start. I wish that I knew that when I started, because I started with a really old computer that I got it from a cousin. I really appreciate that computer because it helped me to do most of the stuff. To start
your journey. Yeah.
But I remember that I need to hold the screen of the laptop, otherwise it fell off. Yeah, man. I mean, I didn't come from a rich background, so I have to work what I have. And I used to do a lot of coding there. But as I say, like, if you are ready to start and you want to start programming, I would suggest you 8 to 16 GB of RAM. Windows can break much easily. Mac is way more stable. However, to have the budget to buy a Mac at the beginning, to have a budget to buy a Mac at the beginning could be a challenge.
Yeah.
And there are certain software that doesn't support on Mac. Okay.
Yeah, that's I think the only restriction that I don't like about Mac is that you get limited to what you can actually download and what you can actually use on Mac. Otherwise, performance-wise, security-wise, and everything, it's great. It's amazing. No comparison to Windows. But the only point where I start disliking my Mac is that I can't just go ahead and download anything and use anything, which is why I'm using a Windows laptop. It's Lenovo ThinkBook, and it is great. It's amazing. Funny story happened when I was going to buy this. I'll share this one. So this is this is why understanding what you actually need is really important, right? So a couple of months back, was it a couple of months or about 4 months back, my old laptop, which was a HP Spectre,
which I love it because it was a ultra thin laptop one. And the first time that I met Arjun, he was carrying his laptop and said, "Man, that is such a cool laptop. When you're about to throw it away, tell me."
I would actually not call it a laptop, you know. It's more like a notebook. So it's not a proper laptop. It's a notebook that is good for your day-to-day, but it's not made for heavy computing, and it's not made for running 1,000 servers or running 1,000 programs at once. So it's good. Looks wise, it's amazing, but it's not made for data analysts. Let's just say that. So anyways, because it's not made for data analysts, and I was continually abusing it by using it so much, it had to stop. It was like, just, I give up. I can't do this more than this. So the laptop started facing some problems. It was lagging, it was slowing down, the speakers were not working. At one point it was like nah, I don't have the power to generate sound, so I just don't. So I was using the headphones with it every time I was using it to listen to anything. But then that also stopped working. So slowly and gradually it started, having problems. So I was like, okay, let's go and get a new laptop. And at that time I was looking for something in a budget. So the one laptop that really caught my eye was it was HP, because I was using HP previously as well. So I was like, okay, let's go with HP. And I saw one laptop from HP and I bought it. And then when I got back home and I connected it to my monitor and to my setup, I realized that the Type-C port is data only.
Yeah, I heard that as well.
Yeah, and that is something which didn't click my mind when I was buying it, because in today's time you would expect that all the laptops that have Type-C data should be able to literally just plug in your monitor and should work, right? So but
power
and also power, yeah, exactly. So if it has a Type-C, then I had this assumption that, okay, I can see the Type-C port in this laptop, so that means I can simply plug in my monitor and it should use the power and it should connect to monitor and everything. But then I realized that it's a data only, and I had to go back to PB Tech and I had to change it and I had to return it. And because now it was opened, I lost $200 because of their policy that if it is used or if it's opened, you can't get full price refund. And that was the breaking point for me, because I literally cannot work on a single screen. I need to connect my laptop to my monitor because I have an ultra wide monitor. So I previously had a two dual monitor setup, but then I went for an ultra wide so I can just move things around and it's easier. But here is the thing. So that little thing that I assumed and I didn't actually give too much attention to costed me $200 just because I had opened it to check whether it connected my monitor or not. If I had this knowledge previously, then I would have made a better decision into getting what I actually need. And then I went for this Lenovo ThinkBook, which is amazing. It is a 360-degree flip laptop. It has a stylus with it, which just gets connected to the laptop. It's touchscreen. It's everything. It's 2-in-1. So it has this 1 TB RAM. So all the requirements that I need. Finally, it has a Type-C that is like connected to my monitor and powers up the laptop. But yeah, this is why this episode like this is really important to help you understand and to save you from making the mistake that I did.
Yeah, thanks, that is the point, because without that experience, that's why we share things. Is like we're building the experience.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I realized, that you'll never get the best setup.
Yeah.
Even though that you got just the latest one, you get home and 2 weeks later the new one is coming up.
Yeah, of course. That's
annoying.
I have realized it with technology that this is always gonna be the case. Be it laptops, be it mobiles, be it anything that is technology. 2 weeks in, and you are already obsolete.
Yes.
There's already something new in the market. Yeah, true.
Yeah. No, that's the toughest part with laptops. But I just want to say, so let's come back to that person that we've been when we start this journey. So you need a laptop that allows you to install multiple software and you need the RAM to be able to open more than one software at the same time.
Yeah,
that is crystal clear. The other thing that I recommend you, and this is something for granted nowadays, at least here in New Zealand, is that laptops need to have a SSD drive or a M2 drive. This means that in the past, the hard drives, the HDD used to be a disk that goes around, that rotate. And something when you, I don't know if it happened to you, but if you drop the laptop, that probably hard drive will never work anymore. So those are the kind of things, like, especially when they're working. But nowadays, most of the laptops are SSD, which is way faster, and the speed of how the data flows through is amazing. And so that was a game changer. For example, to jumping from HDD to SSD, just the same CPU, just the same GPU, it will increase at least the double of the speed of your experience in your computer. Okay, so we cover the hard drive, we cover the CPU that you need to start. You just need an i5, that's enough. And i5 been in the market for many, many years. And when I say i5, is to compare a Toyota Corolla from the 87 with something from today. So if I say i5 from 15 years ago, I don't know how many years it has been in the market, i5.
Yeah, i5 has been for ages now.
Yeah, but if I say i5 from 20 years ago, it's not the same to say the same nowadays. I would say like from 2020, 2018, i5 should be good for you. And there's the other thing that you want to get the latest software, the latest updates. And the more that you keep updating the software, more slowly the whole computer starts to work. So if you will be starting, of course, you will be working with Excel. I will say that you would like to experiment in Python. And then you would like to experiment in Power BI, for example. For that specific setup, those three tools, I would recommend you a 16 gigabit of RAM at least, in i5, all right, for no more than 2020 and back, okay? We're 2026, so means 6 years old computer, all right? That's the setup that I would recommend you. If you would like to just go for coding, remove Power BI from this equation, I would say you just need 8 gigabit of RAM, okay? The fastest that you want your computer to run your scripts, more CPU, CPU, GPU you will need. A lot of machine learning programs run in GPU. So it's really important to have a good graphic card. And then we jump into another discussion. So graphic cards, the prices of graphic cards, they rocket up. You remember, I haven't had one of those laptops that you put the slots for many, many years. I would say like at least 15 years that I don't have a computer like that. A desktop computer that you put the RAM memory and that sort of stuff. Even nowadays, the Macs and many computers bring their RAM soldered, so you cannot even do any upgrades. So that is why the importance, because in the past you used to say, I would just get another hard drive, I would just get another GPU when the money starts to flow. But then nowadays you get stick. And also the annoying part from Apple, and I have to recognize, is you have the starting price, and then it's 256 gigabyte nowadays. But to jump into 512, you pay many, many dollars. At least like 10%, 20% of the whole computer. It can go just to increase that amount of hard drives. So that is the annoying part. But there's a caveat here. If you only will be working in code, and you will be working in Python, I have a old computer that I install Ubuntu, and that it runs my Python script for me. So I install, it's an old computer. Even you just take that old laptop that has been sitting in the house that nobody's using it, and it's rubbish, but that it can keep, it could be your first server. So if you're looking to experiment, and also Ubuntu, you don't need a license, and also you can connect remotely by console to pull the scripts, and even remote desktop nowadays. It's not that fast as the workstation, but it can perform a small Python script, like download me the data every day from the weather, and create this on my website, those kind of things. And it will be good for you for experimentation. So if you don't have budget, this could be totally possible. And you want to play with something, break one of those computers and install Ubuntu, and then you have a setup to start to play with. Okay? And we cover Mac and Windows. But inside of the window dimension, we have Intel and
Ryzen?
AMD, yes.
AMD Ryzen, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
Ryzen
main.
is the latest one, man. It's a quite fancy one.
Yeah.
And I have a Ryzen at work. Works so smoothly.
Yeah,
I'm
it's good.
lucky that they invest in a good laptop for me. I have a 32 gigabyte of RAM and 1 terabyte of SSD and a Ryzen. So
I think Ryzen is
so
good because Ryzen is mostly used in gaming, right? So gaming requires heavy performance and fast responsiveness and everything. So Ryzen mainly focused on, because I think, if I'm not wrong, we used to get Ryzen's graphic cards, right?
yeah.
Back in the days. And now
I
we
would say it used to be like a Ryzen laptops, like they were more designed for gaming.
Ryzen laptops were more designed for gaming. Exactly. So Ryzen's forte is gaming, and which is why they are good. They are better than not better, but I think very, very close and competing with Intel in terms of performance and speed. So that is why Ryzen is really good. But the one that I have has Intel graphics, and we recently bought a new laptop for my partner as well, and that has Ryzen, and that's really good as well. Yeah, so Ryzen is also good, and now they're, I think, at Ryzen 7, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, the
I think
latest
that
one.
I have a Ryzen 5 or 6, but
Yeah.
yeah, I can't tell you the latest one. Probably at the time that we're talking, there's a new one coming up. All right.
Yeah.
So in the Windows horizon, you have Ryzen, AMD, and you have Intel. But there is a cool thing, because there are certain things when you start to work, especially in corporates, that you will find that a Lenovo laptop with i5 and 60 gigabit of RAM, it won't work as the same as the Lenovo ThinkPad.
Yeah.
Even though it's i5 and the same similar specs, but you will find that they just work differently. They're built differently. The price is also premium.
Yeah.
But that is why the ex-lease could be a good option for you, because you can get to a ZenBook. If you go out of the market, for it to be overkill, or it could be totally out of your budget. But normally corporations and big companies, they use those kind of computers because they buy them on lease or something like that. So for you will be a good point. So
sorry, just wanted to give one more tip here. If you are okay with it, because some people are not, but I am okay with it. I have done this previously as well. I did this with my with my monitor. If you want to save a little bit of money, you can either go for something called Refurbished. So it is same as ex-lease. So it is like people's old laptop, and then they refurbish, they send back to the company, they refurbish it and then sell it. So it's not brand new manufactured, but it is exactly the same features, exactly the same specifications. It's just in an old body, right? So if you're okay with it, you can go for that. That saves money. And the trick that I use is usually, I did this with my monitor, it's usually look for X demo pieces. So X demo pieces are the ones that have been sitting on the store's display. Yeah. So if you're going to PB Tech, or if you're going to Noel Leeming, and they have display items on display, right? So if they have the laptop on display, then after 15 days or 20 days, they remove that from the display because something else needs to be displayed, and then that unit, that specific item, gets sold at a discounted price because it is X demo. It hasn't been used by real users or in real world. It has just been sitting on the store for a display. And sometimes you get get these units for cheaper price. And so that's a good way of saving money if you're okay with like not buying the brand new out of box and straight from the factory, because specifications matter more than this, right?
Also be clear that for the refurbished units, there are different classes, class A, B, C, and D, which means the highest the class, A, which is the top, the better product that you will get For example, there's something like C. Depending on the country that you are listening as, you will find that, for example, the refurbished computers that you get, they're probably lower quality. And so keep an eye on that, because it happened to me in the past. I went to Asia, and I've been traveling around, and I found back in the time a phone that was just refurbished. I bought it, and I went to the next day and said, like, this phone, the screen is not working. Oh yeah, no problem, we'll replace it. I say, okay, thank you, that's a good service. So day after, I went again, and I say, now the connector is not working. No problem, I will change it again. And then I started to realize that it's a whole market that, for example, if a company build cell phones, they sell super cheap 200 cell phones that didn't work. And out of those 100, probably those people who work with in this, they recover 10. And out of those 10, they sell it, and then how they make the money. But there are certain grades. So I totally recommend you to go to a established place. Ideally close where you live, or in your city, because in that way, if it failed, you just go for guarantee, because normally you have up to 3 months. And if nothing failed within 3 months, I think you should be safe. But
no, even on the company's websites, you can get these refurbished ones, because I know for Lenovo, we were doing some research, and Lenovo has on its website the option for you to go for a refurbished item. So that is legitimate. Like, you will get a good quality item, not from any shop outside, but from the proper big names.
That has been improving within the years. I remember that many years ago, when I was kid, like many years ago, I remember that we used to go to a place that a guy used to purchase the motherboards. And all of them, they became faulty. And they were faulty. They used to buy this to suppliers. And then the thing that the guy used to do, used to fix and take this from there, and then try to make it work. Out of the 100, he used to make work 10. But of course, they wasn't guaranteed, because especially when it's not the same when someone solder something in the house in comparison to solder this in a fabric. So that's the tricky part. Personally, I won't go buy refurbished. If you test it and try it, I think that is a worthy opinion. But if you are out of budget, I think that the ex-lease, for me, it could be an option, because I can ask, and also if it fail, I know that they were good quality, they're just old, but if it fail, I can come back to the shop and say, you know what, didn't work as expected.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't buy refurbished either if it is not from like a proper website, or like, say for example, if I'm going for a laptop, if it's not from Lenovo's website, I wouldn't buy it from anywhere, from any Tom, Dick and Harry. And I usually go for X demo, because that is a much safer bet. You can still save some money.
That is good, because
exactly.
The computer didn't have any problem. Nobody complained about the computer. It just probably
it didn't had any previous
a scratch
owner
or something.
Yeah, it didn't had any previous owner. It was just sitting on the shelf. That's it. For 10 days.
There's a good. Of course, depending on the country that you are, because
here
we are quite good in terms of customer service. So if you find something little, they will come back to you right away. But at least in my country, probably doesn't work like that. But it depends. It depends from where you are. Okay. Now, if you want to work in AI, which is a trending topic, as you know, we'll recommend you something prepared for that. So if you want to go one step ahead and try LLMs in your own computer, I don't know if you try that, but you need to install something like Olama and then create the ChatGPT, but in your own computer. Then you require more RAM. Then you require a more bulky computer. Even though that works in Ubuntu, in Windows, and Mac, you can install this for free. You require a better setup. And if I were you, I'd just buy a Mac Mini, because it's a good price and good memory RAM, and also I will use it just here as a little server to play around and try it out. I will try something high-end RAM and high-end GPU.
Yeah.
And then you realize, because the Mac Mini is around 1,000 New Zealand dollars. And
Mac Mini?
Yes. Yeah. But it doesn't have a screen of you. You don't have portability. But if you can afford to have something just sitting in your home, I will go through there. I just bought it for experimenting. So it will be up to you how you would use it. But of course, this is for a more advanced user. You don't need to go to AI GPU. Now, nowadays, there are many computers that come with Copilot embedded. This means that LLMs are the libraries, languages that you have, the AIs, they use it. We discussed this before in another episode, to go through the information that you're trying to achieve. The bigger the model, heavier that it is. There are certain models that can be up to 14 gigabit of storage.
Yeah.
So to be able to go through all those words, you require a lot of GPU and RAM. So probably then that is why you need an advanced computer. But if you just want to start with something smaller, I would say just start with the basic, and probably this is something not really interesting for you as a data analyst. Let's say data analyst, and you don't want to be a data science yet, or you want to experiment a bit on data science, but just stay here. So 16 gigabit of RAM should be enough for you. All right. So AI, there's the other thing that I want to say. Just nowadays the processor, they are becoming more ready to process AI in your laptop, because we used to have this server, ChatGPT server, that all of us we go there and then we create the model, and then there's a back and forward. But nowadays the new laptops are prepared to leverage your GPU and your CPU to faster up the process of the AI. So now you will see, like, your computer that you just bought probably comes with Copilot prepared.
Yeah, it does.
Or for example, your phone comes with Apple AI, and the new laptops come with laptop AI. So it's totally up to you. And unfortunately, there are no more MacBooks with i5, which allow us to also to create a virtual machine with Windows setup. Okay, that's another topic, virtual machines. But I just want to tell you that the latest computers, even though they're i5, come with this capability of be able to extend the functionality of AI. Yeah. So that could be. Yeah. Now we jump into screens. I want you to tell me what is the best screen for you. For you. What is the best screen for you? Best monitor. 2 screens, 3 screen, 1 big one. What is your setup?
So
tell me your setup.
I started with I have used all sorts of screens for my work. When I was back in Christchurch, when I was just a uni student, I had a TV that I would use as a second screen for my laptop. So it was a proper Sony. I don't know what is Sony or Samsung, but it was a full proper TV that you use in my bedroom, and I was using it as that. Then I got into dual monitor setup, and I think it's right to say, if once you go dual monitor, you can never go back. Like, it's really difficult. So I had Dell monitors, for 2 Dell monitors on arms, and I was using those as my setup, and then my laptop would be the third screen. So 2 monitors, main monitors, and then laptop on the laptop as a third screen. And then I used that for quite some time. Then I went ahead and got a bigger screen, but a single screen. So using that and laptop, so that was a dual setup, but just dual setup, so there was no third screen. So laptop was 1 screen, and then 1 monitor was the other screen. And after that, the latest one that I'm now using, it's LG's ultra wide. So it is a curved monitor, which is like I'm not sure I think it's
aspect
34
ratio?
inches. Yeah, I think
Okay.
it's 34 inches, I guess. Yeah, so it's a good ultra wide screen that gives me a good real estate. So if I put two windows side by side, it usually gives me like a full view of those windows. And then I have my laptop that works as a second or third screen, because if I'm using ultra wide as one full, then it becomes the second screen otherwise. And the way I use it is I usually have my ultra wide divided into two. So on one I have a few tabs open, on the other I have a few tabs open, so I'm working on both. And then the laptop only has like Teams and Outlook, so those two things are on the laptop screen, and everything else is on the ultra wide. So that's my current setup, and I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Have you tried the Control Shift arrow left in your computer?
Control Shift arrow left.
No, sorry. Control Windows.
Yeah.
Left arrow left. Control.
Oh, you mean
arrow
the landscape and portrait mode?
No, with Control Windows.
Control Windows arrow left. Let's try.
Okay. Don't break this code. No, don't try now. Don't try now. I don't want you to break.
It's not doing anything.
If you can afford to have multiple screen, it can be a good opportunity for you to try it out. It has a totally separate desktop. It's a multiple desktop that you can create in Windows. Not many people use it. So for example, if you just have one screen, and then you want to have this set out like the Teams in Outlook in one screen, but keep it there always, you just go and create a new desktop.
Yeah,
I can show you later how that works, but that is another option. Okay,
yeah.
so your call is wide screen and a laptop open.
Yes.
Okay, all right, that is your configuration.
Yes.
What is the configuration that you guess I have?
I would guess you have a dual monitor?
No.
One horizontal, one landscape?
No. Neither.
No? Just a single?
Yeah.
Single Mac?
No, I have a single 27-inch, which is 2K, and that's all. But I don't use nothing else. Even my laptop is closed, because I learned that I just can focus on one thing at a time. Because you've been here, when you are running code and there are things that you need to wait, you want to start to do other things. I will just check the email a little bit, and then you bench into the emails. We'll open this a little bit, and this is usually happen me a lot. So for stress management, I've been learning that using one screen, it helped me to wait, because if a job, if a script is running, I can wait. I can take a note. I can grab a coffee.
I think for my role, right, as a test analyst, I usually have two things. At the same time, I need to look at two things at the same.
The live page and the one that you are.
So I'm either comparing the two environments, a live production environment or a test environment. So in that case, the dual monitor, like the dual screen setup works. Or I am reviewing testing. So for example, what testing was done and then what it was done against. So I have the test cases on one side and the test video on the other side, and then I can compare. So it's usually I am using both at the same time. So it's not switching context. It's still in the same context, and I'm using two screens at once because I am working with both, right?
Yeah.
So in my context, it makes sense. In my context, it makes sense. And as a test analyst, you often have like multiple screens because you're working across multiple environments, or you're updating in one and then comparing in the other, or updating in one and then checking in the other, or something like that. And then Teams and Mail is on the laptop because it's just handy to be connected to your team. And then if something is not working, take a screenshot from here and then just chuck it in there, and then it's easier. You don't have to navigate across browsers or across different screens. Yeah. So yes, it totally makes sense for you because yeah, if you're working on a code and then it's running, then you don't want to switch context and go to something else. In that meantime, you can do maybe grab a coffee or something like that, or just take a moment and then let that work happen. Otherwise, it's all context switching, and then that's happening like continuously, which is not good. But yeah.
So it depends to who you want, but just reminder, because we're talking about setup.
Yeah.
The more screens that you connect into your computer, more GPU that you use,
Yes.
more
Yes.
graphic card that you use.
Yes.
And also there's something that we'll be touching base quickly now, which are the dock stations, which is another world. Okay.
Yeah.
Because now it's a whole universe of dock station. And then I've been finding a lot of things. Okay. So things that I would like to share with you. For example, there are dock stations that emulate a graphic card when they plug into USB, and actually you are using the CPU instead of the GPU to display the two screens.
Yeah.
And so if you have a small processor, those dock stations probably won't be that great for you. The other challenging part that for some of those dock station is equal to that box that you can plug it in two screens and then multiple USB and so on. Yeah. So the other challenge is sometimes you're required to install a software to make it work with the two screens. And if you have a work laptop, you won't be allowed to install it. So I just have a friend who bought a dock station. He asked me, man, it doesn't work. And you need to install a software, and the software is not allowed by your company.
That's really
be careful with that. And the other thing is, like, as you say, it's important that because the dream scenario is like you have a laptop and you plug it in one cable, and through that cable,
that's it.
HDMI, USB,
everything
all the gadgets that you have, plus power. Okay, that's the dream. And then you want to pack it up this and then connect your work one, and then you do the same. That is the dream scenario that I have, and I love it, and it works really smoothly. But the change that I did recently is to move to just one screen, as I mentioned, and I use directly the HDMI from my laptop. So, but through this adapter. But I'm not using a dock station. I used to have a dock station, but that one take other resources because I need to have a tool running on the background.
Yeah.
So
I've got I've got two docking stations that are sitting just in my cupboard because I was using those earlier.
And they're so expensive. They're nearly $300 or $500. Yeah.
I should probably sell those now because and make some money because I don't really need it, because the ultra wide monitor that I'm using has a built-in USB hub, so all my the mic, the camera, the mouse, and all the peripherals are connected to the monitor, and then the monitor has a USB Type-C which gets connected to my laptop and works with my work laptop and my personal laptop both. And so that is the dream scenario that you mentioned. So I literally have that set up, so I don't have any docking station anymore. The ones that I had are now sitting in the cupboard, collecting dust.
Now I ask you to show me which keyboard do you have? Show me.
The keyboard does not at all go with the theme of my
I don't
laptop.
mind.
Because I'll tell you why. Because I'll tell you why. The like everything is sort of premium, I'd call it, because the camera is Logitech. The mouse that I'm using is Logitech MX Master 3. It's amazing. I love this mouse. I love this mouse.
We're not getting money for it, but it's just a good one.
But the keyboard is from Temu.
But it's cool.
It is good. Like no offense to Temu, but this is a great deal that I got. It's called Free Wolf, and it has got 3 connecting settings, so you can connect it via 2.4G. So there's a receiver which gets a USB receiver which is connected to my monitor. So it gets connected automatically to whatever laptop I plug it in, whatever laptop I connect with my screen. And it also has two Bluetooth connections, so Bluetooth 1 and Bluetooth 2. So I can at the same time connect it with two different laptops or two different PCs and just toggle one switch and then it works with the other one. It is
Great.
amazing. It's a really great keyboard. And then also it has a full, like it's a full keyboard with the numpad as well. And it is wireless. Yeah, it is wireless, gets charged via Type-C cable. So I only have one Type-C cable which can charges my phone, my keyboard, my mouse, my everything. And that is what I like want to achieve, because I don't want too many wires hanging in here and there. I just want one wire that works for everything.
This is what we
and
want.
that is my ideal setup. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. But yeah, apart from the laptop with the keyboard from Temu, everything else is like Logitech, LG.
Man,
Thanks to you for this mic, which is great. I'm actually looking at buying this one for myself and returning this one back to you.
But that one is yours, man. Keep it.
Oh no.
Okay,
man.
but we're not discussing this in this podcast. But anyways, so keyboard is important for you because I wanted to get a Apple keyboard.
Yeah.
And I found it that just didn't work. It was too light for me, so I got this one. It's a Logitech as well.
Yeah, but this is really great as well. Yeah.
I like it because it's heavy. It's not portable.
Yeah.
And also team up with this mouse, so it's really easy for me because I can jump. I bought it because you can select multiple computers at the same time. Yes. But now because I have this stuff that I can plug it in different computers, I actually don't need it. But this is the kind of thing that I want to tell you. So we discussed the GPU, the CPU, the hard drive that you need, the SSD. If you're using external drives, nowadays you can use something with USB 4, which is the fastest connection. But if you cannot afford that, USB 3.1 is enough. Okay. Yeah. So ex-lease laptops are quite cool for you, especially if you're starting. It's a good option. Arjun mentioned as well the ones that are refurbished, but refurbished but buy it from a trust dealer. Okay?
Trusted dealer, yeah.
Trust dealer, and then if you want something more techy, I personally, my setup, I have a MacBook. I use a MacBook all the time, but when I need to work in Power BI, I have a Windows computer, a little one, a tiny one, with 64 GB of RAM, and then I remote into using remote desktop. That is my setup. All the code happen on my MacBook, and I deploy in the Windows computer. Right. So this is how I work, because those scripts I just found them in Mac work so smoothly, and I use different tools. We'll be speaking about in software one day, but just for you, my setup is a MacBook Pro i5 from 2020, and I have a little server that I deploy the containers and that sort of stuff. So that's my configuration. Actually, I have running N8N on desktop, which you don't need to pay for license. That is running on my server as well. So it depends what you want to create. If you want to learn coding, no excuses. Go to the cheapest one, 8 GB of RAM, and then you can achieve great things. 16 if you can afford a bit more. But if the goal is to learn, go for 16 GB of RAM, and that's all. Then if you want to become fancier, you can afford to have a wide screen or a MacBook or whatever that you want or you dream for, but it's up to you.
Yeah, there's one thing I really want to mention here when it comes to setup. I have been doing desk setups for very long time now, and I keep changing my desk setup every now and then. But one thing is very important when it comes to desk setup is ergonomics, right? So the chair you're using, the keyboard you're using, the mouse you're using, the height of your main screen, it needs to be ergonomic. Because if, for example, if you're a data analyst and you're working 8 hours in front of a screen and on a laptop on a keyboard, you need to make sure that you are not hurting yourself. So get a chair that that is ergonomically designed so that you have the maximum comfort and you don't hurt your back or sit in a bad posture. Get a mouse that has ergonomics. So like we said, MX Master 3 is great because the one thing I love about it, the way it fits in the palm and it doesn't hurt your wrist. Because even if you're
There are
using
cheap
this for
options as
8 hours,
well.
there are cheap options
Yeah,
as well,
there are
so you don't have to go for this. Yeah,
some copies of
yeah,
the MX if you're not in budget.
yeah, correct. And then the keyboard that you're using, if it is a mechanical keyboard like me, or if it is a high keyboard like ye thick and you're typing too long, then make sure you have a wrist or arm, what do you call it, the wrist pad to rest your wrists on.
Yeah.
And the height of your monitor or your main screen is at your eye level, so you're not hurting your neck. So these are the things that are really important and you should consider
Really good.
when you're setting up.
We're covering now even health and safety. Well, stuff. Yeah,
Yes.
because I have done many courses same as you. Yeah, the top of the screen needs to be in your eye level, so in
Yes.
that way you don't force the eyes to move to see up. And the other thing is like your
Knee.
your arms needs to be 90 degrees. Your elbow needs to be 90
your
degrees.
elbow and yes.
And then your back needs to be straight. I'm super bad to keep my back straight. I'm guilty of that, and I would like to do it better. But I think that at least to have the screen and try to sit straight.
Correct.
And normally I lay down on my chair and have the legs anywhere. So
and the lighting as well, because you don't want to strain your eyes too much.
Yeah, if it's too much sun directed to the screen, you just tend to close your eye a bit, and then it's not good for your health. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode. We speak about techie and hardware. I hope that you enjoy. So next time that you go to buy your computer, think if one you need, and if you can afford and you want to dream of this, go for anything that you want on top. But if you are in budget, go for what you need to learn, and then with the time, with the money start to flow more, then you will be able to build your dream setup. I think that I have my dream setup now, and I'm lucky to be able to afford that. So if you can do it, do it. If you cannot, don't do it for now, because you can spend crazy money in computers.
There's no upper limit. You can go as high as you want.
as far as you want. But if you're starting in budget, I would say like for 900 New Zealand dollars, you can start with something, or 700. If you are really limited on budget, 700, something second hand or something on budget. Is something. And if you have any question, just feel free to send us a message, and probably we can have a chat and probably tell you which one could be. But just focus on the thing that you want to achieve in 1 year time, not in 10 years time. Okay, just achieve in something soon. And when you hit the ceiling, then you will be moving to a new laptop.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Ramon. It was an amazing session. Really interesting and good sharing of. I hope these the experiences that we have shared will help our listeners make wiser decisions in deciding when they're buying new laptop, or when they're buying new setup, or like changing their setup. And thanks for everyone for listening to our podcast. If you have any suggestions, any tips, any new topics that you want us to cover, like we said earlier, please let us know. It would be great. Comment in the video or just connect with us on LinkedIn. Looking forward to it. And we will see you in the next one. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Arjun. Have everyone a great and beautiful day. See you later.
See ya.